You've reached a turning point, the moment everything changes. We've all been there, that exact moment when you realize your life is about to take a completely different direction. Maybe you're there right now, watching this video, feeling like you're standing at the edge of something massive. You can feel it in your bones. Things are shifting, changing, and there's no going back. Today, I want to talk to you about what it really means to reach a turning point in your life, and more importantly, how to navigate it with courage and clarity. Because here's the truth, turning points aren't just random events that happen to us. They're opportunities disguised as challenges, and how we respond to them literally shapes the trajectory of our entire existence. Think about the last time you felt truly stuck. Maybe it was in a job that drained your soul, a relationship that had run its course, or a version of yourself that you'd simply outgrown. That feeling of being trapped, of knowing deep down that something had to change. That's your inner wisdom speaking to you. It's your authentic self trying to break free from the constraints you've placed around your life. But here's what nobody tells you about turning points. They're terrifying and exhilarating at the same time. One moment you're comfortable in your routine, even if it's not serving you, and the next moment you're facing the unknown with nothing but faith to guide you forward. It's like standing at the edge of a cliff, knowing you need to jump, but having no idea what's waiting for you on the other side. I remember my own turning point vividly. I was sitting in my car after another soul-crushing day at a job that looked perfect on paper, but felt like a prison sentence. I caught my reflection in the rearview mirror and barely recognized the person staring back at me. The bags under my eyes told the story of countless sleepless nights. My shoulders were permanently hunched from carrying the weight of expectations that weren't even mine. That's when I knew. I couldn't keep living someone else's version of my life. Something had to change, and it had to change now. Maybe your turning point looks different. Maybe it's the moment you realized your current path isn't leading you toward your dreams. Maybe it's the day you decided to prioritize your mental health over other people's expectations. Maybe it's right now, as you're listening to these words, feeling that familiar stirring in your chest that says, "This is it. This is my moment." The beautiful thing about turning points is that they force us to confront our deepest truths. They strip away all the excuses, all the somedays and what ifs, and demand that we make a choice. Are we going to keep living in the safe but suffocating world we've created? Or are we going to step into the unknown and create something entirely new? But let's be honest. Change is hard. Our brains are literally wired to keep us safe, which often means keeping us stuck in familiar patterns, even when those patterns are slowly killing our spirit. The fear of the unknown can be paralyzing. What if we fail? What if we make the wrong choice? What if we lose everything we've worked for? What if people judge us? What if we're not strong enough? What if we're not smart enough? What if we're not worthy of the life we dream about? These fears are real, and they're valid. But here's what I've learned through my own journey and through countless conversations with people who've navigated their own turning points. The fear never goes away completely, but it becomes less important than the calling in your heart. When you reach a true turning point, staying the same becomes more painful than the risk of change. The cost of not acting becomes greater than the cost of taking action. And here's something crucial. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need a perfect plan or a guarantee that everything will work out. You just need to take the first step. Then the next one. Then the next one. The path reveals itself as you walk it, not before. This is one of the hardest lessons to learn because we're conditioned to believe that we need to see the whole staircase before we take the first step. I want you to think about the people in your life who inspire you most. The ones who are living authentically, pursuing their passions, making a difference in the world. I guarantee you, every single one of them has faced their own turning points. They've stood where you're standing right now, feeling scared and uncertain, but they chose to move forward anyway. They didn't have special powers or secret knowledge. They just had the courage to honor what their hearts were telling them. Your turning point might be about your career. Maybe you're realizing that climbing the corporate ladder isn't bringing you the fulfillment you thought it would. Maybe you're discovering that your true calling lies in something completely different, something that lights you up from the inside out. The world needs people who are passionate about their work, who bring their whole selves to what they do. When you work from a place of authentic passion, you don't just succeed, you thrive, and you inspire others to do the same. I've seen people leave six-figure jobs to become teachers, artists, social workers, entrepreneurs. I've seen people who were told they were crazy for following their dreams go on to create movements, build companies, touch lives in ways they never imagined possible. The common thread among all of them was that they reached a point where they could no longer ignore the voice inside that was calling them towards something more meaningful. Or maybe your turning point is about relationships. Maybe you're recognizing patterns that no longer serve you, boundaries that need to be set, or connections that need to be deepened. Maybe you're learning to love yourself in a way that allows you to show up differently in all your relationships. This could mean ending toxic relationships, even if they're with people you've known for years. It could mean having difficult conversations with family members about how you want to be treated. It could mean opening your heart to love again after being hurt. Relationship turning points are often the most challenging because they affect not just us, but the people we care about. Perhaps your turning point is about your health, physical, mental, or emotional. Maybe you're tired of putting everyone else's needs before your own. Maybe you're ready to prioritize your well-being, to create habits that support your highest self, to say no to things that drain you and yes to things that energize you. Health turning points often come after we've ignored our bodies and minds for too long, pushing ourselves to the breaking point in service of external expectations. The truth is, turning points come in all shapes and sizes. Some are dramatic and life-altering, while others are quiet but profound shifts in perspective. What matters isn't the size of the change, but your willingness to honor what your heart is telling you. Sometimes the most powerful turning points are the smallest ones. The decision to start saying no to things that don't align with your values. The choice to spend 10 minutes each morning in meditation. The commitment to stop negative self-talk. One of the most powerful things about reaching a turning point is that it forces you to get clear on your values. When everything is shifting, you need an anchor, something to guide your decisions and keep you grounded. Your values become your North Star, helping you navigate through the uncertainty toward a life that feels truly aligned. But here's the thing, many of us have never actually taken the time to identify our core values. We've been living by default, following the path that was expected of us, without ever stopping to ask ourselves what truly matters. Take a moment right now to think about what matters most to you, not what you think should matter, not what other people expect to matter, but what actually matters to you in your core. Is it creativity, connection, freedom, service, adventure, growth, authenticity, justice, family, impact? Once you're clear on your values, decisions become easier. You can ask yourself, does this path align with who I am and what I value? Does this choice move me closer to or further from the life I want to create? I also want to talk about the importance of support during turning points. You don't have to navigate this alone. In fact, you shouldn't. Surround yourself with people who believe in your vision, who encourage your growth, who see your potential even when you can't see it yourself. Find mentors who have walked similar paths. Join communities of people who are also committed to living authentically. This might mean distancing yourself from people who consistently discourage your dreams or make you feel small. It might mean seeking out new friendships with people who share your values and aspirations. The people you surround yourself with during your turning point will significantly impact your ability to navigate it successfully. Choose people who celebrate your courage, who support your growth, who remind you of your strength when you forget it. Avoid people who try to talk you out of your dreams, out of their own fear or limiting beliefs. Sometimes, the people closest to us are the ones who have the hardest time accepting our changes because our growth forces them to confront their own stagnation. And be patient with yourself. Change takes time. There will be days when you feel strong and confident, and days when you question everything. That's normal. That's part of the process. The key is to keep moving forward, even when the steps are small, even when the path isn't clear. Progress isn't always linear. There will be setbacks, moments of doubt, times when you feel like you're moving backward. But every experience is teaching you something, shaping you, preparing you for what's next. I want to share with you the concept of the messy middle, that space between where you are and where you want to be. This is where most people get stuck. They start making changes, encounter obstacles, and then retreat back to their comfort zone. But the messy middle is where the magic happens. It's where you discover your strength, your resilience, your capacity for growth. It's where you learn to trust yourself in ways you never have before. Here's something else I want you to remember. There's no such thing as a wrong choice when you're acting from a place of authenticity. Every path teaches you something. Every experience shapes you. Even if things don't work out exactly as you planned, you'll learn something valuable about yourself and what you truly want. The only way to truly fail is to not try at all, to let fear keep you stuck in a life that doesn't reflect who you really are. But there is a wrong choice. And that's the choice to do nothing. To stay stuck in a life that doesn't reflect who you really are. To let fear make your decisions for you. To wait for the perfect moment or the perfect plan before taking action. Here's a hard truth. There will never be a perfect moment. There will always be reasons to wait, excuses to delay, fears to overcome. The perfect moment is now, with all its imperfections and uncertainties. Your turning point is calling you right now. It's that voice inside your head that's been getting louder lately, the one that's been harder to ignore. It's the dreams that visit you in quiet moments, the visions of a life that feels more authentic and fulfilling. It's the books you find yourself drawn to, the conversations that light you up, the activities that make you lose track of time. Your turning point has been preparing you for this moment, leaving you clues, opening doors, creating opportunities. Maybe you're scared. Good. That means it matters. That means you're about to do something that will actually change your life. The things worth doing are always a little scary. They require us to grow, to stretch, to become more than we are right now. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's feeling the fear and taking action anyway. It's trusting that you have what it takes to handle whatever comes your way. I want you to imagine yourself 5 years from now. If you don't take action on this turning point, if you let fear keep you stuck, what will your life look like? Will you be in the same place, dealing with the same frustrations, having the same conversations with yourself? Will you be proud of the choices you made? Will you be living with regret? Will you still be waiting for the right moment? Will you be looking back wishing you had been braver? Now imagine the alternative. Imagine yourself 5 years from now, having honored this turning point, having taken action despite the fear, having trusted yourself enough to leap into the unknown. What becomes possible when you choose courage over comfort? What kind of life opens up when you stop settling for less than you deserve? What impact do you have on the world when you're living from your truth? What relationships do you attract when you're being authentic? What opportunities present themselves when you're aligned with your purpose? The difference between these two futures is the choice you make right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready, right now. Because here's the truth. You're already ready. You wouldn't be feeling this calling if you weren't ready to answer it. You wouldn't be watching this video if some part of you wasn't prepared to take action. Your readiness isn't about having all the answers or feeling completely confident. Your readiness is about recognizing that staying where you are is no longer an option. Your turning point isn't just about changing your circumstances. It's about changing yourself. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be. It's about aligning your outer life with your inner truth. It's about stepping into your power and owning your story. It's about claiming your right to live a life that feels authentic and meaningful. And here's the beautiful part. When you honor your turning point, when you choose authenticity over security, when you follow your heart despite the fear, you give others permission to do the same. Your courage becomes contagious. Your authenticity inspires others to live more authentically. Your willingness to change creates ripples that extend far beyond your own life. You become a living example of what's possible when someone chooses to follow their dreams. Think about the impact you want to have on the world. Think about the legacy you want to leave. Think about the example you want to set for the people you love. Think about the children in your life who are watching how you navigate challenges, how you respond to fear, how you treat your dreams. Your turning point isn't just about you, it's about everyone whose life you'll touch when you're living from your truth. I know it's scary. I know it's uncertain. I know it feels like you're about to upend everything you've built. But I also know that deep down, you know what you need to do. You know what your heart is calling you toward. You know what would make you come alive. You know what would make you excited to wake up each morning. You know what would make you feel proud of the life you're living. The world needs more people who are fully alive, who are passionate about their lives, who are willing to take risks in service of their dreams. The world needs people who are willing to be vulnerable, to share their gifts, to stand up for what they believe in. The world needs you to honor your turning point. The world needs you to be brave. Let me tell you about the 3 stages of every turning point. First, there's the awakening. That moment when you realize something needs to change. You might feel restless, dissatisfied, or simply aware that you're living below your potential. This is where you are right now if you're watching this video. You're awake to the possibility of something more. The second stage is the resistance. This is where fear kicks in, where doubt creeps in, where all the voices telling you to stay safe get louder. You might find yourself making excuses, procrastinating, or talking yourself out of the very thing you know you need to do. This is the most dangerous stage because it's where most people get stuck. They feel the call, but they let fear win. The third stage is the breakthrough, the moment when you choose courage over comfort, when you take action despite the fear, when you trust yourself enough to leap. This is where transformation happens. This is where you discover who you really are and what you're capable of. This is where your life changes forever. So what's your first step? What's the smallest action you can take today that moves you in the direction of your turning point? Maybe it's having a difficult conversation. Maybe it's researching a new career path. Maybe it's signing up for a class. Maybe it's reaching out to a mentor. Maybe it's simply acknowledging to yourself that change is needed and that you're ready to embrace it. Whatever it is, make it concrete. Write it down. Put it in your calendar. Tell someone about it. Make it real. Because here's what I've learned. Dreams without action remain dreams. Your turning point is calling you to action, not just contemplation. I want to share with you a powerful exercise. Close your eyes and imagine yourself at 80 years old, looking back on your life. What do you want to be able to say about how you lived? What do you want to be proud of? What do you want to remember about the risks you took, the chances you seized, the moments you chose courage over comfort? Now, imagine that 80-year-old version of yourself giving you advice about this turning point. What would they tell you? What would they want you to know? What would they encourage you to do? Whatever it is, take that step 1. Trust that the path will unfold as you walk it. Trust that you have everything you need to navigate this turning point. Trust that on the other side of this change is a version of yourself that you'll be proud to become. Your turning point is here. Your moment is now. The life you've been dreaming of is waiting for you to claim it. Are you ready to answer the call? Remember, turning points don't come with guarantees, but they do come with possibilities, infinite possibilities. And sometimes, the possibility of living a life that truly reflects who you are is worth any risk. The regret of not trying is always worse than the temporary discomfort of change. Let me leave you with a powerful example of what's possible when someone embraces their turning point with absolute conviction. Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, faced countless rejections throughout his life. He was rejected from Harvard 10 times. He was turned down for 30 different jobs, including positions at KFC and the police force. He failed his college entrance exam twice. When he finally got into college, he was rejected by numerous employers after graduation. People constantly told him he wasn't good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. But his turning point came when he discovered the internet in 1995 during a trip to the United States. Despite knowing nothing about technology, despite everyone telling him it was impossible, despite having no technical background whatsoever, he saw a vision of what the internet could become in China. He could have easily dismissed this vision as unrealistic, given his track record of rejections. Instead, he chose to embrace his turning point with courage and unwavering belief. He left his secure teaching job, where he was earning just $12 a month, to start an internet company in China when most people didn't even know what the internet was. His first attempt failed. His second attempt failed. People thought he was crazy. His friends and family worried about his mental health. Investors laughed at his presentations. But Jack Ma understood something profound, that his greatest risk wasn't in trying and failing, but in not trying at all. He embraced his turning point with a level of persistence that defied logic. He slept on floors, lived off instant noodles, and worked 18-hour days. He was rejected by investor after investor, but he never stopped believing in his vision. He knew that every rejection was simply redirecting him toward the right opportunity. He treated each failure as education, each setback as preparation for what was coming next. When he finally launched Alibaba in 1999, he gathered 17 friends in his apartment and convinced them to invest their life savings in his vision. He told them it would take at least 10 years to build something meaningful and that they might lose everything. But he also told them that if they succeeded, they would create something that would change the world. Today, Alibaba is one of the world's largest e-commerce companies, serving millions of people globally and employing hundreds of thousands of people. Jack Ma's story reminds us that our turning points often look impossible to others, but when we honor our inner calling and take action despite the fear, despite the criticism, despite the seemingly insurmountable obstacles, we create possibilities that seemed unimaginable. His journey shows us that turning points aren't just about changing our circumstances, they're about changing ourselves into the kind of people who can create the impossible. The most important lesson from Jack Ma's story is this: he didn't wait until he felt ready. He didn't wait until he had all the knowledge or resources. He didn't wait until the path was clear. He took action while he was still afraid, while he was still uncertain, while he was still learning. That's what made all the difference. Take the leap, honor your turning point. Your future self is counting on you. If this message resonated with you, I want you to know that you're not alone in this journey. Share your turning point story in the comments below. Let's create a community of people who are committed to living authentically and supporting each other through life's biggest changes. And if you know someone who might need to hear this message, share this video with them. Sometimes, we all need a reminder that it's okay to change, it's okay to grow, and it's okay to choose courage over comfort. Your turning point is your invitation to step into the life you were meant to live. Don't let it pass you by. The world is waiting for what you have to offer. Your time is now.